Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. So for this afternoon's review, we are going to tackle Halo 5 Guardians. So this is just going to be a recap of the McFarlane Toys Halo 5 ODST Spartan back, which I customized 3 weeks ago. So we are going to finally take a look at the final figure that is done right now. So let's first take a look at the base figure. Let's do a quick 360 of this Spartan back action figure produced by McFarlane Toys for the Halo 5 game. Now, the first video that I made was with regards to improving the articulation points of the figure, because it is actually a really nicely detailed action figure, but the articulation points really sucks. So what I did was to point out the areas where we could possibly free up material so we could improve articulation. Now I'm going to present the final figure that I made. So the paint just settled in nicely, and I also added some accessories to it, so I could finally show the final figure. So something that could be what we call a action figure project. So for point of comparison, I added an additional character or figure on board. So presenting McFarlane Toys ODST Trooper Mikey, the demolition specialist of Spartan Bucks squad. Okay, so let's take the Spartan Buck figure out of frame for a while and let's concentrate on Mikey. So the ODST troopers, actually their armor, they have a lot of storage pockets or pouches for equipment and ammunition. So here's a closer look, of the armor of basically a ODST trooper. So actually we still have connection points and molly systems on this side, even if that is protective armor plating. So actually on this side we still have grenades of some sort, and this would be possibly C4 or some demolition material. So, and even Mikey sports a demo backpack or demolition backpack. So this was used in the ODST game to blow a bridge. So really nice looking action figure, but this also suffers from articulation, and actually the plastic that was used on this figure is really not so good compared to the standard Spartan figures, which are made of better plastic. This plastic for these guys, the smaller guys, actually is very brittle. So I have extras of this action figure on board, so I was able to snag some pockets and pouches from the figure and place it on other Spartan figures. Okay, so let's take a look at the back armor. So for Spartan back, actually the pockets that we only have would be these two, but if you take a look at the armor, we don't have any pockets on the waistline or a belt or any storage areas for ammunition. So he only has a knife on the left shoulder. So the thing that I did was to really spice up the look of this figure once I improve the articulation. Let's do a quick 360 of the final customized figure of Spartan Buck by McFarlane Toys for the Halo 5 game. So before adding additional accessories to this action figure, I painted first the areas where I took material of this figure using an X-Acto knife and a drill. So it's going to be, of course, just a recap. So both sides of the armpits on this area of the shoulders. Actually, I also took material of the forearm guard to improve the articulation point on the elbow area. I also took off material on the hip area to improve the spread of the legs and the reach of the legs. I also took off material under the knee to improve the bend of the knee, and also I took off material of the foot to improve the articulation points of the foot. Okay, so all of those areas where I took material off, exposed plastic is now covered up with black or gray paint. So just like just the same shade of the armor of Spartan box. So that could easily be accessed either through Hobby Lobby or Walmart. So nothing really fancy, just your regular painter's pen or whatever pen that you want to use. Anyway, it's just going to be areas where your fingers won't touch when you possibly play with this action figure, so it's okay to use anything. Plus, the areas where material were taken off are not rubbing points actually, so the paint won't get chipped or won't fall off. So let us now discuss first the things that I did. Of course, we added a rifle for the figure, so BR85N. So from one of the Halo 5 action figures that I have on board or possibly have on my lot, because I also have been purchasing online accessories on eBay from other collectors who are already selling their Halo 5 stuff by McFarlane Toys. So for a cheaper price, I could get a rifle, I could get a broken figure, and from there I could take pieces from the purchases that I made. So let us first take a look at the thing that I first painted, or the area where I first painted, which is the helmet. Which, if you could take a look at the Mikey figure, all of the ODST characters or orbital drop shot troopers would always have this side of the helmet painted. So whatever color that they would like to sport, for example, Mikey would sport a red color, so that's going to be a red color. So for Spartan back, since the shade of the armor is black, gray, and silver, so I utilized silver paint, which on the original figure is almost inexistent. Now we have a knife, a molded knife on the left shoulder. Since we don't have any packets or accessories on the left leg, I took out the knife and placed it on the left leg. As to balance, since we have accessories on this side, so of course it would be nice to have an accessory piece on this side too, so it is nicely balanced. So I replaced the knife with a Marvel Legends accessory that I also had on board. I just couldn't figure out from which character this is from, because I would just buy accessories, loose accessory stuff online. So as to the origin of this accessory, from which character, I just can't point out right now, because it's a loose bin of parts that I have that I just used on this figure. So as for that belt, I already pointed this one out from the previous video that we have of this action figure. So from the Masters of the Universe Revelations Andra figure, so this belt. So because the pouches, the color of the pouches and the sizes of the pouches actually are the same, are a match. plus the color of the battle belt of Andra is the same color as the armor of Spartan back, so it was a good match. Anyway, I boiled this figure nicely and took it apart, so I was able to fit that belt in. Okay, so the backpack, I have a broken Mikey figure, so that is the origin of this backpack. So I just drilled a hole on the backpack, just took it out from the Mikey figure and drilled the hole and placed a peg long enough. So I was supposed to place the backpack situated this way on the back of Spartan back, but it just doesn't look right that way. Somehow it just covers the two jetpacks that he has built in for the armor. So instead of this way, I just drilled a hole on the other side and situated this demolitions pack this way. So difference from the Mikey figure, but at least we have a demolitions pack for Spartan back, which regular ODST troopers always have on board in their squad. So give it to back too to improve the arsenal of back. So aside from his BR-85 and rifle with holographic sights, so he has a detonation or an explosive pack with a possibly a remote antenna, which I really don't know where, if this could also act as a communication device. So on the left and right thigh, the thing that I also added were additional pouches for ammunition or storage of gear. So the origin of these packets, actually I really don't know which figure they came from, because I also bought this loose from eBay. So since they already had a nice peg on, the pegs somehow just fit nicely on the holes on the thigh of this figure, which is really great. So now this Spartan back action figure mimics a ODST or an orbital drop shock trooper, only in Spartan form. So Spartan armor with an ODST helmet and ODST shoulder guards possibly, so we have semblance on there, and a full-on array of pockets or holsters to store ammunition and gear. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next action figure review.